Hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in to this Austin360 studio session. I'm your host, Serena Hicks, and I'm feeling very lucky today because we have an amazing musician who also hails from East Texas, where I'm also from. His name is Sean Berry.
What's up?
So we're going to do this like always. If you're watching live on Facebook Live, he's going to play some songs, and then I'm going to ask your questions live. So without further ado, here is Sean Berry.
I'm tied to a track, you're a freight train. Every time we get together, you just cause me pain. I do it every time, I forget to think. Forget the promise, we won't take it farther than one drink. And it starts with a kiss and my hands on your hips. I'm feeling you breathing, here we go again. Need to take things slow, said that 6 drinks ago. I can't seem to get off of this roller coaster ride. I wake up in your bed, laying all alone. Note on your dresser saying please be gone when I get home. Live in every guy's dream, my friends say it's all true, but they don't realize it's the closest thing to loving you. And it starts with a kiss and my hands on your hips. I'm feeling you breathing, here we go again. Need to take things slow, said that 6 drinks ago. I can't seem to get off of this roller coaster ride. This roller coaster ride. You will never see just what you do to me. When it starts with a kiss and my hands on your hips, I'm feeling you breathing, here we go again. Need to take things slow, said that 6 drinks ago. I can't seem to get off of this roller coaster ride. This roller coaster ride.
All right, thank y'all. How are y'all feeling? Y'all feeling pretty good? So I dated this girl in college, and we did not get married. Thank God. But she kind of turned me into somewhat like a semi-alcoholic. And I say semi because I'm not a full alcoholic yet. But we dated, and she made my life very miserable, and so I just drank all the time, hoping she'd leave me, and it worked. So I don't come from a family of drinkers or big drinkers, I would say, and so I was in the shower one day, and I think of all my songs in the shower for whatever reason, and this idea of first generation drunk came to my head, and so I wrote this song called First Generation Drunk.
Well, it's 1:37 in the morning on a Wednesday night. I'm up late drinking to Jones, 'cause we just had a big fight. You were fussing about this and bitching about that, and why I'm always lit. I said, baby, no offense, I'm just sick of dealing with your shit. As you can imagine, that went over well. She looked right in my eyes, said, boy, you can go to hell. She's the source of all my problems, and she's the reason I'm this way. And I don't even start to solve them until me and old Jim Beam begin to sway. Oh, that woman's got me in a funk. Oh, I've become a first generation drunk. My mama says if I'd come to church, my luck might turn around. I'm just afraid as soon as I walk in, God's gonna strike me down. But I keep praying she'll wind up and leave, 'cause I'm really starting to hate the taste of whiskey. She's the source of all my problems. She's the reason I'm this way. And I don't even start to solve them until me and old Jim Beam begin to sway. Oh, that woman's got me in a funk. Oh, I've become a first generation drunk. She's the source of all my problems. She's the reason I'm this way. And I don't even start to solve them until me and old Jim Beam begin to sway. Oh, that woman's got me in a funk. Oh, I've become a first generation drunk. A first generation drunk. A first generation drunk. All right. Y'all are awesome. How y'all doing out there? Y'all doing pretty good too? Y'all should be here. Y'all missing out. They got pizza. So I write a lot of songs from the perspective of my life, and most of them just happen to be about the same person. But I would say last Thanksgiving, my in-laws, we like to build fires because we live out in the woods. So we had a big bonfire going. It was Thanksgiving, and I was sitting around this fire, and I was just thinking to myself how beautiful fire is when you look at it, but how destructive it can be at the same time. And I took that thought and I kind of translated it into a relationship, and how you can have this person, or from the outside looking in, it looks really good, it looks really beautiful, but on the inside of the relationship, it's just tearing you apart. And so I wrote the song Wildfire. This is the title track of my album that we just released back on the 14th. So the song's called Wildfire. She's like a smoke show burning through the trees of California. But every time she calls, you always believe she wants you. She'll blaze through your heart like a flame through an open flame, bringing nothing but ash and disaster, 'cause it's all she's after. She just wants to see you burn. She's a wildfire, she'll take your soul just so she can watch it burn out of control. And she tells you she'll put out the flames every time, it always ends up the same. She gets what she wants, she does what she feels. The whole time you're thinking her love is real. You never ever seem to see that she's a liar. Yeah, she's a wildfire. The way she moves is nothing short of beauty, and her sleight of hand always seems to fool me. Some would dare to say that she's a phenomenon, but her favorite thing to do is string me along. She's a wildfire, she'll take your soul just so she can watch it burn out of control. And she tells you she put out the flames every time, it always ends up the same. She gets what she wants, she does what she feels. The whole time you're thinking her love is real. You never ever seem to see she's a liar. Yeah, she's a wildfire. She just wants to see you burn. You don't ever seem to learn. She's a wildfire, she'll take your soul just so she can watch it burn out of control. And she tells you she'll put out the flames, but every time it always ends up the same. She gets what she wants, she does what she feels. The whole time you're thinking her love is real. You never ever seem to see she's a liar. Even though she's hell on earth, she's all you desire. She's a wildfire. She's a wildfire. Oh, she's a wildfire.
All right. Y'all having a good time? Good. You're like, yeah, I ain't gonna be where else? I'm gonna be at work. Get to sit in here and out. Nice air conditioning. So this song, this is actually a very new song. I wrote this last Friday. So I'm from a small town outside of Athens, Georgia. So I'm a country boy through and through. I don't like traffic. I don't like buildings over 4 stories. So when I moved to Nashville, it was kind of like a shell shock for me. The cultural difference is vast in comparison to where I'm from. And so I try and stay out of bigger cities as often as I can, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And I had a few shows in Arlington, and so I was staying in Fort Worth, my manager's apartment, and he had to go to work that Friday, so I was just at the house by myself, and so I Googled food nearby, and the first place that popped up was Chick-fil-A. It was like 2.5 miles away, and where I come from, Chick-fil-A is considered fine dining, so I was like, hell yeah, Chick-fil-A, let's go. 2.5 miles too, like nothing. Took me 30 minutes to get there, to drive 2.5 miles. So I got there, and it was like 30 minutes back. And I was like, this sucks. I need to be at home. I need to be out in the woods. And so I wrote this song, not specifically about, the song's called Woods, but I think it's a deeper meaning. It's more about, I think just everybody needs simplicity in their life. And I feel like today, we try and put as much on our plate as possible, and don't really appreciate simple things. And so I wrote this song. The song's called Woods. I'm stuck here, Fort Worth, Texas, trying to make the best of a situation. And I'm surrounded by concrete and cars and roads that always seem to be changing. But I need space, I need room to run around, my bare feet on solid ground that ain't man-made and damn sure ain't paved. I need woods, I need woods. I need the smell of honeysuckle run across my face, the sound of mama back home singing Amazing Grace. Now I'm sure that you like it here, and that's all well and good, but I need woods. Oh, I need woods. Take me back to Pocatello. It's been many years ago since I was last there. And I remember the sunshine coming through, the pines and morning dew, and that Georgia air. I wish I was there. 'Cause I need woods, I need woods. I need red dirt on my hands from working on the farm, front porch talking with my baby, pouring out my heart. Oh, there's a lot of things to do up here, and that's all well and good, but I need woods, I need woods. Oh, my mind is gonna crumble, staying in this concrete jungle. I need woods. Need woods. Oh, I need woods. I need woods. I need woods. All right, thank you.
Okay, my microphone worked. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Before I ramble on about how amazing that was, I want to welcome any of our newer viewers. You are watching an Austin360 studio session presented by Bud Light, and this is Sean Berry.
Hey, hey, hey.
Sean, I totally just knocked over your water, and I'm in a dress, so I just need to apologize.
It's okay. At least the cap's not off.
Yep. Okay, I've done worse. Okay, Woods just made my heart so happy.
Grew up in the woods.
I know. I left, but the red dirt part spoke to my heart. I was like,
Right.
you're in East Texas / East Texas
Right.
when you're dealing with red dirt in
It's
addition.
everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Can't get away.
No. I remember I moved there in 4th grade and I'd come home and my mom was like, what are you covered in? Red dirt. Yeah. It's a thing. So I want to, for any of our viewers, you can post questions live in this Facebook post and I will read them. Post them. We're going to decline that call really quick. Okay. So here's what Vivian Santos just posted when you were singing Woods and we were all having a moment.
What's up, Vivian?
Vivian says, I was at the show at Troy's in Arlington.
Hey, we meet. Might have met.
I don't know. She said it was great to hear you play the song the first time. So I love that you wrote it Friday, which is what, 5 days ago?
Yeah, so I wrote it Friday and played it Friday.
Okay, so you wrote it Friday, you played it Friday, and thank you for sharing it with us. And Vivian is like about it. So
Thank you, Vivian.
that's not on the new album.
No, it is not. Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going and cutting just like a acoustic guitar and microphone kind of. So
Do you guys think that's a good idea?
be looking for it.
I don't want to presume it's only me, so they say yes as well. I think that's a great
Sweet.
idea. As far as the album you just released literally a couple weeks ago,
Yeah, September 14th.
tell us more.
So it's a 7-song EP. 6 of the 7 songs I wrote by myself. I wrote one of them with a few friends of mine,
Cool.
and it's called Wildfire. You can find it on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. Not on Pandora. I'm sorry if you use Pandora.
Does anyone use Pandora anymore?
Why would you use Pandora?
Nope. That's a no. Okay, yeah, no. Okay, Wildfire. Wonderful.
Wildfire.
Okay, so I like to ask personal questions. So before we were live, I was talking with Sean in the dressing room. Sean, by the way, you're such a classic Southern gentleman. So props to you for just being so polite. And
My mom raised me really good.
she really did.
She did a good job.
Sean was here super early, was yes
Like an
ma'aming
hour
me.
early.
Good job.
Seriously.
You didn't want to be in traffic.
The first time I've ever been early to anything in my life.
Nailed it.
I was late to my wedding.
Okay.
Seriously.
About that. That's why I wanted to tell you guys the story. Sean, how did you meet your wife?
So my dad is a country music singer.
John Barry.
John Barry. Your love amazes me. You might know that song.
You sing it better than me. Do you guys, anyone else dance
Well,
to
he
that at a high
sings
school
it way
dance?
better than I do.
He
so
does.
he's got it going on.
That was like the homecoming song back when I was in high school and our football team lost again.
That sucks.
I've moved on.
That's really sad.
Yeah, but that's a good song. Okay, so your dad is John Barry who sings Your Love Amazes Me.
Right. So I was living in Nashville at the time, and my dad texted me and said, "Do you want to make some money?" And being the broke 20-year-old musician that I was, not much has changed. Now I'm just 24, but I'm still a broke musician.
4 years later, you're a working musician.
But he texted me and said, "Do you want to make some money?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, come open the show for me and come do production. We're bus calls in 3 hours. We're leaving for Longview, Texas, and come on." So I went and I opened the show. It was at the Belcher Center in Longview, and my would-be in-laws were there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did they approach you?
they did. They came up to me after the show. Kayla's aunt came up to me and she said, 2 questions. Do you have a CD and are you single?
By the way, if you're not from East Texas, you're like, do people talk that way? The answer is
They
yes.
did. Absolutely. Yeah.
Are you single?
Yeah. And I was at the time. And I did have a CD. It was a really, really shitty CD.
It was a warm-up.
Yeah, it was a demo, but she showed me a picture of her niece and said, "This is Kayla. She's going to follow you on Instagram tonight." And I was like, okay. And she was cute. She was cute.
And then Kayla follows you?
She followed me. I recognized the name, and so I followed her back. And I had
Stop. Pause for dramatic effect in case you are wondering if we're serious.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Kayla's aunt approached him and was like, she's real pretty. She's going to follow you. And you said, okay. And then she followed you. And then?
And so I slid in her DMs.
Right.
Yeah. One of 1 million successful attempts.
Good job. No,
Yeah.
you nailed it.
I know.
So now she's your wife.
Yeah. And what's crazy is I remember exactly what I said to her.
What did you say?
Yeah. So I said, "Hey, I met your family tonight. They had nothing but great things to say about you." Exactly what I said.
Oh, nailed it.
And
Yeah.
so, I mean, you can't not reply to that. I mean,
No.
that's like super, gentleman. So
Yeah,
you have to
no,
respond.
Good job.
Yeah. And so we talked for about 3 or 4 weeks, and I flew out to Dallas, Fort Worth, and she picked me up at the airport. First time I ever met her. And I was 20 years old at the time, and I knew I was supposed to marry this girl. And
Hashtag wifey.
I know. And so 9 months later, I moved to Texas. It was back in 2015. And so it'll be 3 years in November that I've been here. We've been married for 2 years in December.
I love y'all's story. I really do, right? I'm like, well, that's how you get it done.
She tried to be here, but she had to work. So
people work sometimes in the middle of the day.
I don't know who does that.
I know. Well, we try not to, but sometimes we have to. Thank you for sharing that personal story. I just loved it, and I feel like it sort of shows your heart that you're like, cool, she's pretty, I'll say something nice. But now he's off the market, ladies.
Yeah. Note to all the guys out there, if you want to pick up a girl, just be nice. Just be polite and nice.
Actually, look in the camera and say it again. Trust me.
Hold the door open for her. Pump her gas when you're at the gas station. Do all that stuff.
You can go ahead and write a book if you want. I'm into it. Yeah, we'll just have a Sean Barry sings country and does etiquette. I like it.
I wasn't perfectly polished one year, so.
Which brings me to the question about First Generation Drunk. That was a great song. I love that you're like, she made me drink. Do you want to elaborate on how that was many years ago and how you were a different person and how instead of leaving, you just made yourself leavable?
Yeah, I like to, well, I don't like to think it. I probably still am leavable. I think everybody is. But
you're married, so that was a good idea.
I'm married, yeah, so she's in it now.
Yeah.
There's no way out.
Good.
But, yeah, I don't know. It was a different point in my life. And I was in college. I was like 19 years old and, you know, experiencing the world and
being 19.
And being 19 and, you know, being 19, you know.
Okay, that's enough. That's good. You're like, no, First Generation Drunk. I told you everything. Fine. We've answered that question. I love this question from Courtney Anderson. Who are Sean's musical inspirations? He has such a cool sound. I agree.
Oh, goodness. So I listen to a lot of different music.
Top 3 right now.
Oh, right now?
Like currently in rotation.
Okay. Mac Miller, rest in peace. Love Mac Miller. Brent Cobb and probably Tyler Childers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Top 3 all-time heavy rotation.
John Mayer for sure. Gosh, that's a hard one.
I know, it's revealing, right?
Yeah, I know. Chris Stapleton for sure. Mother's Finest. You probably don't know who that is, but you should look them up.
Who is it?
Mother's Finest.
Mother's Finest?
Yeah, they're like a old 70s funk rock band.
Challenge accepted.
They're awesome.
Thank you. We will all be listening to Mother's Finest shortly.
They're badass.
Okay. Talk to me about growing up with your father, who is a working musician and has been big in country.
Yeah, so it wasn't as abnormal as most people think it would be. To me, it was just life. I didn't know anything else. We grew up on a farm, and you know, my parents would go on tour and they'd come home, and sometimes we'd go with them. You know, it's just mom and dad going to work.
Got it.
So I mean, other than like getting to meet cool people,
who was your favorite meeting so far?
Probably honestly, Jake Owen. I met Jake Owen at an event in Nashville, and super nice guy. I mean, I was with my dad. He came out of his way to introduce himself. Just super down to earth guy, and you don't see a lot of that with guys at his level. And so, you know, seeing that just, you know, kind of reassured that there are still good people in the music business. So
nice. Okay, are you ready for rapid fire questions?
Oh goodness.
Yeah. What'd you eat for breakfast?
Whataburger.
What exactly?
Honey butter chicken biscuit.
Nailed it. Yes, that's what I was like. Wait, but did you have the chicken biscuit? You are officially Southern. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Beach or forest?
Beach or forest?
Yeah, like camping trip or go to the beach?
Well, I live in the woods. I don't call them the forest.
I do that. I know.
That's very northern of you.
There's a really long, sad story that involves Whitney Houston. So
I would say beach, but I prefer the lake.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a lake dude for sure.
Okay, got it. I know the answer to this. Cat or dog?
Dog.
What's?
I've got a 2.5-year-old chocolate lab named Kane.
I love chocolate labs. Yeah, we studio audience collectively approves.
Yeah.
Great. If you could work with any musician, like there are no actual limitations, tomorrow, who's coming over? Who's the artist?
I would probably. I'm a big Wade Bowen fan.
Okay.
I think he's an incredible songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
I got the opportunity to meet him one time in Tyler, and super nice guy. Sat there and talked to me for 15 minutes.
Nice.
And just down to earth guy. And I just like people like that. You know, I'm a down home kind of dude. And,
You are.
And so I just like people that kind of have that same mindset as me.
I dig that. Talk to us about your favorite part of the writing process.
I think the completion of it.
Oh,
Well, actually,
sure.
I take that back. So writing for me, it can be either really difficult or super easy. So like all 4 of those songs I played, I wrote in 45 minutes to an hour.
That's unusual.
And then I have other songs that took me 3 weeks to write. So those are a little more frustrating, but the feeling of, you know, having just all this emotion inside of you and being able to put it out on paper in a, you know, a pretty seamless fashion, it feels really good. And then you play it, and then you play it, and then you play it, and you can't stop playing it. And so that feels good. I love when you have something like that. So
it sounds really good.
Yeah,
it's interesting that you said that came to you so quickly because,
not all of them do, but
Sure.
a lot of them, you know, kind of just, you know, they're 45 minutes to an hour and a half kind of songs. So
what advice would you give to musicians who are sort of pining to become working musicians, but quite frankly, they're scared?
Do it 100%. You know, a lot of people ask me what my backup plan is, and I tell them I don't have a backup plan. This
good.
is plan 1 of 1.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's in any field. If you want to go be a doctor, go be a doctor. If you want to be a writer, you got to be a writer. And you also have to practice. I have hundreds and hundreds of horrible songs. And that's just part of being a songwriter. You'll write 100 songs and 10 of them will be good. So it's just a matter of practicing, not getting discouraged, and being steady with it.
I love that you illuminated that part of the creative process, that out of 100 songs, 10 are good.
Yeah, because you're not, I mean, it's just part of being an artist. Not everything you're going to do is going to be great. And even if you think it's great, some people might not like it. So you got to just keep doing it.
I dig it. I want to look on Facebook to see if we had any more questions come in.
Let's check it.
I don't want to be rude. Okay. Oh, good. My phone's not really cooperating. So let's go with Amber Rebold wants to know, when did you discover that you had a voice?
Ooh, I had my first band in 7th grade.
Okay.
And the Berry Brothers. My brother was my drummer. And cool thing, my brother actually plays drums with me regularly.
Cool.
He's a studio drummer in Nashville, and he played on my record. And but yeah, 7th grade, I really started playing a lot, did talent shows and middle school dances and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been playing for a long time and still not super good, but I'm getting there.
I think you're good. I gotta say, studio audience, yes. There's a lot of head nodding and like, I think it's gonna move forward. Sandy Lalone was just asking what it's like to be John Barry's son and how he influenced you. We sort of answered that, but was there ever a moment that he was really like, hey?
Yeah. So like one of my favorite songs to play is "Old Man" by Neil Young. And it's kind of like a reflection of me and my father. And yeah, so my dad's been a huge influence of mine, whether it be in songwriting or in singing or just in how to live my life. He's a perfect example of what a man is supposed to be to me. So yeah, huge influence of mine, sure.
All right, I'm gonna cry, so we're gonna shut it down. And Sandy, excellent question. Sean, you're amazing. Again, this is Sean Barry. This has been an Austin360 studio session brought to you by Bud Light. You can get all of Sean's music. Do you prefer Instagram, Facebook? How do you love? Well, I mean, we know about you on Instagram.
I love Instagram. I like the boomerang.
The boomerang is the best.
Yeah, I like doing the boomerangs.
We did a boomerang. If you haven't looked, check our pages.
Yeah. When I figured out the boomerang, like I did like 15 of them in a row on my story because I just thought it was so cool.
If you're not following Sean Barry, he's at Sean Barry Music. And
follow me.
There's a lot of boomerangs to be seen.
Might follow you back. You never know.
Yeah, but he's no longer single, so no. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about
Okay.
your luck.
Thank you for joining us, Sean Barry. Thank you endlessly.
Thanks for having me. See you.